Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Ultima. Today I would like to be able to put up something that involves the upcoming Rise of Iron with the included gameplay. And I hope everyone be able to do so well. Well, while we discuss it, I have a list of what's coming up, the rundown about the highlights, which is both in a coverage trailer of the Game Informer issue, well, that had all the information of the upcoming Rise of Iron, which is again less than 1.5 months. First up, we have 5 minutes. What this mostly often means is when the Rise of Iron comes out, we're going to be going into the Plaguelands, we're going to be getting new missions,
Guardian,
we're going to get some new quests, most often some that have
origin point is somewhere along the coast, near the Cosmodrome.
New upcoming exotic weapons, especially one is the Year 3 Galahorn. I would have to believe if you are not interested to pre-order Rise of Iron in either the PS4 or the Xbox One.
It'd be a shame to lose.
What other types of missions is there is going to be a new type, a patrol mission called Quarantine. What I've heard is that Quarantine is specifically a side mission, patrol mission, where you have to find the source of a infection breach, and your job is to look into it and contain it, while dealing with other types of jerks known as the Splicers, who are going to be the new enemy. Next, staying on the list, the Fellwitcher's Peak. Fellwitcher's Peak is going to be the new upcoming social space. It's like for the tower on Earth, the reef on the Radiant Outpost. Fellwitcher's Peak is going to be a specific area where you're going to be vendors. There's going to be new vendors. There's going to be new upcoming artifacts, which of course some of them I'm going to talk in a separate video. Especially the temple itself will have the Iron Lords, where you can be able to do a ritual that will send you into becoming an Iron Lord, just like Saladin, who is the last of the Iron Lords. But also the cool news about that place, wolves! Real wolves! Can you believe that? I mean, it's sad that you don't have one as a companion, but come on, who don't love wolves? Wolves are freaking cool, well, for the most. And I'll have to say, it is really freaking cool for the most. Those just having to run into wolves themselves. Again, it's a very cool interest when you be able to include wolves. Upon knowing of how you get to becoming an Iron Lord, that's also another video that I'm gonna have in mind later on. Next up, explore the Plaguelands. More often explore the Plaguelands, just like the one coverage of a Bungie review is where you would get to explore the Plaguelands, where the fallen splicers, there's Anziva infection that runs amok. You know, as it is prior months after the completion of the King's Wall raid after you kill Oryx. More often, well, there is to it, the area is just filled with snow. Oh, a bunch of metal has been missing, and a bunch of areas have been opened, and so you get to explore more often, especially the winter time of the Plaguelands. That was also the point where you get to explore the new types. And as I mentioned earlier, that the Plaguelands is new to the expansion, not just because it is more of a remix of the old Cosmodrome. But upon notice, it is a pretty good addition that they're bringing in the winter season. Next up, the Devil Splicers, who are going to be the new enemy of this game, of the game once Rise of Iron comes out. The Splicers are basically what the Fallen Devils, the House of Devils, well, discovered the Siva, and upon interest, is they used the nanotech, the nanomachines, is that the Siva are infected by as if they become machine gods. Most often the Siva are interesting for two reasons. One is that their features is completely different, you know, as if their eyes are now red, and you see wires coming out of their backs. Next, captains are going to be completely... The machinery, like, say, the shanks and the servitors, are going to be super different for having more of a spiky feature. And also, the captains are going to be much more of a challenge. Because they're going to have void shields. Just like how it was with the original Fallen Captains, with the arc shields, and the Taken Captains of a solar shield, it is going to be much more different. And it is acceptable to realize that now each of the captains have their own specific ones. Would that almost hint that future expansions will have most of their things? Like, say, an upcoming Cabal expansion,
Anyone with a radio
and like the Cabal Centurions having solar, the Taken Centurions having arc shields, the upcoming ones will have void shields. Who knows? That's kind of my guess. Next up, the Archers, the Archon's Forge. It's just like your basic Port of Oryx, except it is going to be much more different, as getting so will give you new types of armor pieces, like, say, Siva infected armory, as well as Siva infected weaponry, from what I believe. As for figuring out how the entire thing of that is still currently unknown. My guess is, like, during a review of Bungie's reveal trailer of exploring the Plague Lands, my guess is that that if you've seen a cluster or see a shard, it is going to be possible that is required to get into the Archon's Fort. What most often this is going to be somewhat different. Would it most often be a type? Okay, the Archon's Forge is going to be absolutely different. Most of it is currently still unknown. Though for that being a new type similar to the Port of Oryx, that is so much of an interest as that I would be able to take upon. Next up, new image strikes. A lot of people were expecting the Devil's Lair strike to be remade, okay, but then Siva infected, or what I put up the case, Stevenized. Okay. Just like I'd be able to see the Archon Pre-Strike being takenized because of the April update.
Yes, he just threatened us with orbital death.
Another strike that was also mentioned was the Summoning Pits Strike. I was kind of surprised that was what's made. There was usually told that the expansion is going to include that enemies are getting remade. My guess is that feels like most of the enemies are going to be remade, more tougher, and, well, every single areas, just like how the Cosmic Drone is to be changed. It makes me believe that the other planets, like, say, Venus, the Moon, the Dreadnought, and Mars are going to be remade after years of dealing with Oryx at the King's Fall raid. Another thing the thing about more often the Summoning Pits was remade is that my theory would be that it because since the one invasion of the Double Spiva, Splicers is coming to the moon and invading, they successfully invaded, and then it seems like the Ogre spoke off of the Broken, I believe that's the name of the Ogre, or at the final part of the strike. It would most often mean it might be more like a Steven Heist type of Ogre. Who knows? That is also unknown until until the release of Rise of Iron. Next up, Wrath of the Machine, which is going to be the name of Destiny's new upcoming raid. Just like the reveal trailer and the coverage of the new raid, you have to wonder, what are we going to expect from the raid itself? Who knows? More often, we get a name. We did get a release date from both the Game Informer and the coverage trailer, that the raid is going to be released on the 23rd. On the 23rd, Friday, 3 days after. 3 days after the release of Rise of Iron, which is on the September 20th on a Tuesday.
Rasputin has incredible technology.
And you may even wonder, what are we going to expect from the raid itself? We've already seen a glimpse of one of the bosses, which of course is the giant splicer tank like machinery monstrosity. It is going to be one of those types that is going to be all machine based. Like, it's not going to be the only one that's going to be faceable in the raid. It makes me believe that there's other types just like that. We might be able to see to the bottom, see where the source of the plague is, and then go and deal with all that. And specifically, something that may be a war mind, or like Rasputin, but written with Siva. Which, of course, that did take out the Iron Lord's
Shank's been modified to crack his system.
Next up,
take it out.
New artifacts. We get a bit of an image, which, of course, that I will talk about in the next video, as I will talk about the artifacts. There are 8 new artifacts that are going to be available, in the upcoming, which is, of course, there's the memories of the specific Iron Lords. There are 8 in total, and it always makes me believe there are 4 artifacts that's upcoming. Maybe some that are re-imaged, some that are made anew, and might be able to get new abilities. Who knows? Those artifacts are going to be 8 artifacts. Again, I will be reviewing that in another video in the future. Next up, the new light cap. The new light cap is currently unknown for the most. A lot of people say the theory of the light cap will be 400. The level itself of your character is going to stay the same as level 40, but then the upcoming new light level is remained to 400. It would have made me guess that it could be higher than that because of how it is, until I did look up a video made by Professor Broman. That the whole thing about the light level is that because it is not going to be much on the new missions, it's going to be remade to 400. Next up, new armor sets, rewards, and new gear. We've been given preview of new types. We did give images of new types of gear, new types of weapon, most often, and I will review all of that in an upcoming video. In which case, these new types of gear sets are the Iron Banner, which is what I've heard is going to be remade as Iron Lord sets, new Trials of Osiris gear, and the new raid armor pieces. Yes, in which case, all is made by from the new raid or Wrath of the Machine. New weapons, however, is another thing. Okay. Now, the one new weapon we've been seeing is an exotic Kibasta with interchangeable firing sets. It's an interesting one to go for that, and a lot of people would be interested to know that. A lot of other reviewers did say that we might need an exotic looking Kibasta, because during the beginning, the Kibasta was pretty much popular, especially for challenges. More often about the exotic Kibasta is that like the Gallahorn, where it's going to be a type of new looking type. a new good-looking type of quest, just like the Iron Gallo one. Next up, ornaments. Ornaments are going to be a brand new creativity on both your weapons and armor pieces. You may be wondering how you're able to get it, even I wonder it myself. What I did, or what I read on Twitter one night, is that the ornaments are going to be, one thing to just to decorate your weapons, decorate your thing. What I've also heard about it is that you're able to get a trials ornaments for winning trials. Well, who knows how many there are? Even I'm curious of how many they are. That is still one of those unknown factors that I will have to look into once Rise of Iron comes out. Well, more about these ornaments are something that a lot of people made predictions of, say, new stats, increased stats, interchangeable abilities, who knows. That's gonna might be more often similar to how the new stuff has been added between the new pieces. But again, all that's just unknown, and we'll maybe be able to get to know more in the future once Rise of Iron comes out, especially Trials of Osiris. Next up, the future of Destiny. Why the future of Destiny is that what I read on an article is that it'll be the continuation of the story, right, of the original Destiny. A lot of people did mention that there is no story, especially they found the lost story of Destiny, as previewed from the trailer from E3, but yet it was not in it upon expansions. And the story supposedly continues where it left off, knowing that the Fallen are your true enemy, as they are the invaders, and that it used to be the worshippers of the Traveler, who is their machine god. Like more often, they see the servitors as their new gods, and then when they discover the Siva, they turn themselves into machine gods themselves. What other things is to note is that it takes place after the it does take the continuation of your time against Oryx, or rather against Malak. Next up, the Supremacy, the new PvP mode called Supremacy. There is supposedly this new upcoming PvP mode, well, like the teaser trailer did say so. But you're asking, what does Supremacy mean? When you see an image of it, and you see crests that's on the ground. When you kill an enemy, you get the specific called a point. Another streamer who also has a YouTube video describing Supremacy has his thoughts, saying that there is going to be, you have 100 points to collect, and you have to collect crests, and you have to collect your fallen allies' crests to preserve points, thinking it will not give the enemy a point. My guess from it is that it is going to be Destiny's version of Kill Confirmed from the old Call of Duty games. Games where you kill your enemy, collect their dog tags, and save and recover your allies' dog tags so they won't get a point. We were given images of new maps. So far, one map where it looks like the top of the Dust Palace from the Cabal Strike, like the Scion Flares. This type is kind of more bigger. It seems like there's less room to be able to do, but it more often seems like a perfect map for Supremacy itself, which of course is the new PvP map. There was another image of it on Venus. That's where it looks like it is a shrine, and with all covered in moss. It was either that, or my thought of it from the image is the new Cosmodrome map. Next up, of course, is more Crucible maps, which I've already discussed it, not actually already mentioned, is that 2 of them were already explained, 2 more are unknown, and we will know more from either another reveal image or from when Rise of Iron is released. And lastly, Iron Banner is being reinvented. They also often say Iron Banner is being reinvented. That also often means Iron Banner is being reinvented for a new purpose. It makes me believe that the new Iron Lord set, it makes me believe there is more to it than for this upcoming reinvented Iron Banner than meets the eye. Seems like that more often as this strike as it comes, this new reinvention of Rise of Iron, its version of Iron Banner, will include another quest and involves rituals. You may be able to wonder, what are my thoughts of the upcoming Rise of Iron prep? It is kind of a tough choice knowing that I am pretty hyped up, but at the same time, who knows, maybe it would be better. A lot of people did say it's bad enough to overhype yourself. That's true. But then again, it is whatever the factor that everybody is always hyped up whenever the new upcoming Destiny provides you. But personally, when I'm looking at the new Rise of Iron, it is going to be indeed an absolute success, as the new expansion does make promise. But then again, that when an upcoming Rise of Iron comes out, it is going to be one of those moments that you're going to be paying money. Again, the pre-order suggestion is $30. It's between both PS4 and Xbox One. Again, the PS3 and the Xbox 360 are not getting the update, and they're pretty much going to stop before then, as the new gen, which is now going to be considered the current gen, and the PS4 and the Xbox One. And I believe that's about for my video. Well, again, I will re-image Newt's videos in the future
Russian thank you for
involving both.
Typical.
Well, the artifacts and the armor sets, including the new things. So, pretty much, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like, subscribe to my channel for future videos. So, until then, this is Ultima signing out. Thank you. You guys have a beautiful day. Bye.
Weapons in the sky.